Welcome back to part two of mirrored psychic inversion theory in plain English. Before I start on this next section, because this is about us, not that it hasn't been about us so far, but in terms of the relationship, it was never about us. It was always about them. So this is where the tables turn and we flip, and this is MPIT's ground. This is the survivor's ground. This is where we get to tell our story. So um, the next series of videos, part two, three, and four, this one here, three and four, and into five, are going to be coming out in order, obviously, but I want you to bear in mind and think about how quickly these events came on to you. Not all the timelines that I'm going to put in here may apply to you. They sort of what applied to me as I went through my journey. Um, my collapse arrived incredibly quickly, literally within hours of receiving the news that she was wanting to back away for a couple of days to think about things after she hoovered me, and brought me back in again, and then created a scenario around the very thing that she idealized, to get back into the relationship, which was sex. It was just an easy in for the relationship for her, especially with a man. I'm just going to be honest, it was a dead easy way for her to get a hook of me again, and then use that against me. And I'm going to cover that partly as we go through this. I'm going to talk about the dormant ideal, which will be the video that comes after this. And I just want you just to think a little bit about your timings and how this all fell for you. Okay, so here goes. The aftermath, living inside the collapse. The narcissist may have gone, but the relationship isn't over, because now the relationship lives inside you. MPIT calls this the internalization phase, and for many survivors, it's the longest and most confusing part of the collapse. Your world no longer makes sense. You are no longer you. You walk through the day like a ghost. You replay arguments. You defend yourself against voices that aren't even in the room. You hear them, the narcissist, in your head, commenting, judging, laughing. But that's not the whole picture, because inside of you, two things are now fused. One, the false self you built to survive the relationship, and two, the introject, that internalized version of the narcissist's voice, gaze, and judgment. These two parts begin to fight inside your mind, and you are caught in the middle. What's happening now? In MPIT terms, this is introject co-option. Plain meaning, you've absorbed their version of you. The image they painted, the judgments they made, these now live inside your own mind. You're hearing, you're crazy, no one else would love you, you're the problem. These aren't random thoughts, they're echoes of abuse, now installed like software in your mind. MPIT term, mirrored psychic inversion, RMPI. Plain meaning, your reality is flipped. You now see yourself through their gaze, you defend them, you attack yourself. You feel reasons to excuse what happened. This is the core of the collapse. It's not emotional, it's symbolic, cognitive, and identity based. The next term, collapse induced psychotic regression, CIPR. Plain meaning, you start to lose track of who you are. You may experience derealization. The world feels distant or unreal. Depersonalization, you feel detached from yourself. Symbolic flashbacks, sudden overwhelming emotions with no clear trigger. Recursive loops, replaying conversations, events, arguments over and over again. And here's a crucial insight. The narcissist didn't just leave you, they implanted a version of themselves inside you, and that version is still very much so in charge. And worse, the version of you that was idealized has now been flipped into the persecutory object. You have become, in their mind, the enemy, and you feel it. The pain, confusion, dysregulation you experience is not proof that you're broken, it is evidence that you were colonized. Your emotional system is now trapped in a fantasy war you didn't start and can't win. The next terminology, introject permanency. Plain meaning, the narcissist never truly lets go. Not because they love you, but because they can't metabolize object loss. Your image stays frozen inside of them and can be used again at any time to regulate their emotions. This is why they can reappear suddenly out of nowhere, months or years later. But it's not about reconnection, it's about control. Sam Vaknin term, coercive snapshotting. Plain meaning, you are frozen in their mind as a character, a utility, a tool. If you break character by having boundaries, by falling apart, by healing, you threaten the fantasy. The betrayal as exit, the discard, the moment you were left, cheated on, smeared, ghosted, wasn't random. It was the narcissist's exit strategy. Often more than not, it was already underway long before you saw it. MPIT term, anticathexis, plain meaning. This is the narcissist's act of reinvesting psychic energy into a new object, a new person. They do this before fully detaching from you. That's why they can be cold, detached, and indifferent while you're still reeling. The betrayal was not accidental, it was architectural. A new person is either a clone of you to maintain the fantasy, or the opposite of you to invalidate your importance. This isn't about love, it's about maintaining grandiosity. Why re entry must be denied. The narcissist may come back, but it will never be real. They will not return because they care. They return to reignite control and to mute the loss and to recalibrate the fantasy. Any return will be conditional, cold, short lived, confusing, and psychologically devastating. You will be used again as a container for their self regulation and then discarded again the moment you become too real. Empathy doesn't moralize this, we map it, and this is the map out. Deny re entry. This is the beginning of freedom. Peace out. Part 3 coming.